take out two whole fraction circles. We're going to build 1/3 on the left circle. So I need to use my fraction pieces that have 3 equal parts, and I'm only going to use 1/3. So these are my thirds. These are my thirds, but I'm only going to use 1/3. Now we're going to find the number of sixths. So we're going to use our 6. This is a sixth right there. And we need to find the number of 6 that cover the same amount as 1/3. So that would be 1/6, 2/6, and 3/6. Whoops, that's too big. So that would be how many? 2 out of 6, so that would be 2/6. Those fractions are equivalent. Now let's go ahead and take out 2a, and let's look at letter A. So what fraction is shaded on the left circle? 1/3. So here it is. 1/3 is shaded on the left circle. So let's look at the right circle. How many equal parts do we have here? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 equal parts. How many parts have to be shaded to equal to 1/3? 1, 2. 2 parts out of 6 equal parts. So we went ahead and we shaded those in. Now let's go ahead and write that down. And we're going to write 1/3 is equal to 2 shaded out of 3, 4, 5, 6, equal to 2/6. So now, what can we do to the denominator? Remember we did this yesterday? What can we do to the denominator? And the numerator of 1/3 to equal to 6? Well, we can multiply both the numerator and the denominator by, well, let's count by 3s. 3, 6. So we can multiply by 2. Numerator and denominator, we can multiply them by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So here we're going to write multiply by 2. Now let's look at letter B. So on letter B, what fraction is shaded on the left circle? 1, 2, 2 out of 3. So 2 out of 3 is shaded. 2 out of 3 are shaded on the left circle. How many do we need to shade on the right circle? How many equal parts do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 equal parts. So how many do we need to shade to equal to 2/3? How many parts have to be shaded to equal to 2/3? Well, we have to shade in 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 6. And again, what can we do mathematically to my numerator and denominator to equal to 4/6? Well, we multiply. 3 times what equals 6? 3, 6. 3, 6, 2. So 3 times 2 equals 6, and 2 times 2 equals 4. So here we multiplied by 2. Letter C. What fraction is shaded on the left circle? 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 out of 4. Look at the right circle. How many equal parts do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 equal parts. How many parts do we need to shade to equal to 1/4? Well, we need to shade in 1, 2. We need to shade in 2 out of 8. Again, what can we do mathematically to show that 1/4 is equivalent to 2/8? What can we do to our numerator and denominator? Well, we can multiply by 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. 1 times 2 equals 2. So right here, my answer would be multiply by 2. Letter D. What fraction is shaded on my left circle? 1, 2, 3 out of 4. So we have 3/4. And on my right circle, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 equal parts. How many parts have to be shaded to equal 3/4? Well, to equal this, I know that I need to shade in 2. For this one, I need to shade in another 2 and another 2. So I had to shade in 6 out of 8. Well, how can I do this mathematically? What can I do to my numerator and my denominator to equal 6/8? I multiply by 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so now we're gonna use 2 fraction rectangles, and we're gonna build 1/3 on the top rectangle. So if I look at my fraction pieces, these are my thirds because they are broken up into 3 equal parts, and it takes 3 to make one whole. So I'm gonna place 1/3 on the top, and then we want to find the number of 12ths that'll cover the space of 1/3. And here are my 12ths. There are 12 equal pieces that make up one whole. So let's see how many 12ths we need to equal 1/3. So how many 12ths equal 1/3? Well, we have 4 12ths that equal 1/3. Okay, so now we're going to find this on our worksheet. So we're going to do letter E. So find E on your worksheet. And here's letter E, and we're still doing 2A. Okay, so on letter E, what fraction is shaded on the top rectangle? And the top rectangle, you have 1 shaded out of 3. So we have 1/3 shaded, 1 out of 3. On the bottom rectangle, how many equal parts does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has 12 equal parts. How many parts have to be shaded to equal to 1/3? So we have to shade in 1, 2, 3, and 4 to equal to 1/3. So 4 parts out of 12 equal parts. Okay, so what can we do mathematically to my numerator and my denominator to show that 1/3 is equal to 4/12? We can multiply both numbers by, well, let's count by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12. Well, 3 times 4 equals 12. 1 times 4 equals 4. So we are multiplying by 4. Letter F, we have 2 shaded out of 3. So that's our fraction, 2 out of 3. Let's look at the bottom rectangle. How many equal parts do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 equal parts. 12. So how many parts do we need to shade to equal 2/3? So we can shade in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can shade in 8 out of 12. How do we show this mathematically? What do we do to our numerator and our denominator? We multiply by 3, 6, 9, 12. We multiply by 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. 2 times 4 equals 8. So we're multiplying by 4. Letter G. What fraction do we have on the top rectangle? We have 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 out of 4. And our bottom rectangle, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 equal parts. How many pieces do we need to shade? How many parts do we need to shade to equal to 1/4? Well, we have 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 12. I can show that mathematically by 4 times what equals 12? Well, 4 times 3 equals 12. 1 times 3 equals 3. So I had to multiply my numerator and my denominator by 3. Letter H. What fraction is shaded on the top rectangle? 1, 2. 2 out of 4. How many equal parts are on my bottom rectangle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 equal parts. So how many parts do I have to shade to equal to 2/4? I have to shade in 3, 6. 6 out of 12. So 4 times what equals 12? Well, 4 times 3 equals 12. 2 times 3 equals 6. I have to multiply by 3 to show it mathematically. Independently, you are going to work on page 2B, page 1. It says the top fraction models are shaded to represent a fraction. Shade the second model for each problem to show a fraction that is equivalent to the first. Multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number to solve mathematically. So you can use your models. You will write your first fraction here, and then you will write your second fraction here, and then you ask yourself, what can I do mathematically? What can I multiply my numerator and denominator by to equal my fraction? Okay, you'll do that for numbers 1 through 5, all the way 1 through 5. Number 6, the same thing, except now it's with a circle fraction. You're going to do that for 7, 8, 9, and 10. On number 11, it says draw a point on the number line to show two fractions that are equivalent, then name the fraction. Okay, so on this one, you would label your fractions. This is 0, this is 1, and then you count and you label it as a fraction. So let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 parts to this fraction. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would label it as 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, which is 1 whole. And then you can multiply by 2 to make an equivalent fraction. On number 12, they want you to use a diagram, so go ahead and draw a fraction bar for number 12. Okay, so going back to number 11. So this is broken up, like I said, into fourths. So you would label it 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Then it says to draw a point on the number line. So I decided to draw this one. So I drew 1/4. So then what I'm going to do is I have to find an equivalent fraction for 1/4. So remember what we said, what can we do mathematically? Well, I can multiply, okay? I can multiply my numerator and my denominator by the same number. So at this point, I can multiply by whatever number, but I'm going to choose to multiply by 2, okay? I can multiply by 2, I can multiply by 3, I can multiply by 4. That just means that whatever answer comes up here, I have to break this number line into that denominator. So let's say I decide to go by 2s. So 4 times 2, 1 times 2. So what does that equal? Well, 1 times 2 equals 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. So an equivalent fraction is 2 over 8. So now look at what I said. I said that I'm going to multiply by 2. So between 0 and 1/4, I have to break that part into 2. Right here, between 1/4 and 2/4, 2/4 and 3/4, I have to make them into 2 parts. Okay. Another thing you can do is draw this as a fraction bar. And here's your 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. And then since we're multiplying by 2 again, we said our denominator is 8. So I'm going to break this fraction bar into eighths. So each section is going to break up into 2. And there I have my eighths. So how many does it take to equal to 1/4 equals to 2/8? So here I have 1/8, 2/8. So that would be my answer, 2 out of 8, and that is how I would show it. So you can do the same thing. Maybe what if you choose 2/4 and multiply it by 3, or choose 3/4 and multiply it by 2? How many would you have to, what would be your equivalent fraction?